Do you really need a credit history? We're going to talk about that today and how it can help you and how it can hurt you. See you on the other side. Welcome back. It's Cindy McLaughlin with Low Country Lifestyle Homes and
Brenda Chris with Movement Mortgage.
we are back again. Today we are going to talk about credit and how it can help you and how it can hurt you. So let's get started, Brenda. Let's start with this. Why have a credit score in the first place? And how does that affect you?
Okay, two-part question. The reason that they came up with a credit score was a way for an underwriter to take a look at what you've done in the past, because that then gives them an indication of what you're going to do in the future. So that score is so important. It tells them so many things about your history, about how you pay your bills, if you've been late in the past, if you've been late a long time ago, if you've been late recently. And yeah, it just opens up a lot of questions. So the better that score is, the better off you're going to be.
Okay. So what happens when someone doesn't have a credit history? Because I know that, there's a lot of people out there that want to purchase things with cash, they don't want...
The Dave Ramsey method.
They don't want, credit cards, because they're afraid, to go into debt and, they just want to pay things.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of people that pay with cash.
Yes.
I run into that quite often.
Yeah. So for those people that don't have a credit history and they're wanting to do some things, purchase a home or a car or whatever, what about those people? And what should they do?
It's going to make things a little more challenging, but it's not something that we can't overcome.
Okay.
So there's a couple of options. I can send you out to get a secured card, but it takes about 6 months for a secured card to really impact your credit and help you.
Okay.
We can look at alternative credit, which means we can take 12 months of your cell phone receipts and add that to your credit report. 12 months of rent, add that to your credit report. So you need 3 trade lines in order to satisfy underwriting guidelines. So we would take 3 things that you've made 12 payments on and add that to your credit report is basically how we do that. You can also go to ExperianBoost.com and it will ask you to upload your bank statements, and then it will go in and pull anything that you have paid monthly, including utilities, electric, water, sewer, Netflix, whatever you're paying monthly. It will pull that off your bank statements and add that to your credit report. But that's just for Experian. I think for Equifax, you have to call them and manually upload all of your stuff to have them added.
Okay.
But yeah, so at least 2 of the bureaus you want to do that with, because then we take the middle of 3 scores. So you're going to get TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, and you're going to get 3 different numbers. We're going to take the one that's in the middle, and that's what we're going to qualify you on.
Okay. So that's good information, because really a lot of people don't realize that. When they think, they're going to check my credit, I have to have a credit card or car payment or a house payment, or, they don't realize that those are some things that could help.
Yes. Also being added as an authorized user on somebody's card. So if you have a family member that is in good standing with their credit and has a low balance, you don't want to get added to somebody's credit card that has a history of late payments or that is maxed out. That's not going to help you. But being added as an authorized user can definitely help you if you have somebody that's in good standing and is willing to do that.
Okay, good information. So I told you in our last video, Brenda is a wealth of knowledge. So this is good information for you. So I'm glad we're doing this for you guys. So with talking about the credit score and needing a credit history of some sort, what are some ways that history helps us?
So if you are in good standing and you're seeing your credit rise, credit is a roller coaster. Everyone's going to have days when they're down and they're up, and when you make your payments, it's going to affect your score every single month. So keeping those credit cards really low is going to help your balance go up. The more available credit you have that you don't use, that's going to seriously help your score. So when you got that good score, an underwriter looks at that and they say, wow, these people are capable of having credit, but not maxing it out. So they're considered a good credit risk. Credit cards alone are 30% of your score. So if you don't have one, you're missing out on a boatload of points. I've seen people go get a credit card and see 80 points be added to their report right off just for taking it out. And then as you have history on that card, you get more points.
Okay.
So credit's a pie, and 1/3 of that pie is your credit card and how you make those payments and how low your balance is.
Okay.
So people also don't know that when you have revolving credit, if you were to take out a personal loan, an installment means the same payments every single month like an auto loan,
Mm-hmm.
and pay off your revolving credit, revolving means it revolves with your balance, your credit will go up. So because your utilization on your revolving came down, and then you turned that into a stable monthly payment that you're making payments on. So a lot of times if you have a lot of credit card debt, you go get a personal loan and pay down that revolving credit, you will see your score go up. So that higher score really helps you in underwriting. It helps when I run the decision engine in the computer, because then the decision engine sees that and says, oh wow, this is a good score. They have a good payment history. They have a really good record. So we're going to allow them to go higher in their debt ratio. And we can do another video on how debt ratios affect people, but there's a number we can't go over. And sometimes if your score is good, they'll let you go all the way up to the max. Or if your score is not so good, you might not be able to go as far and borrow as much. Mm-hmm. So it really does impact you quite drastically. So
Okay.
the better your score, the better off you're going to be.
Okay. So, so I had a lot of thoughts while you were talking.
I ramble.
No, it's good because there's so many, different things that we could talk about. Yes. That, are going to be valuable information to our people, viewing. So
especially right now with the credit cards rolling in from the holidays.
Yes. So
if you can't pay that down right away, see if you can take out a personal loan to pay it down with that.
Yeah. So a couple more questions. Okay. If someone had, few blips on their credit history, what are some things that we can do to make that better?
Okay. So we kind of talked about credit card utilization. So you get points when you're at 50% of your balance or your available credit line. You get more points at 30%, and you get the most points possible at 10%. Okay. So if you were to take out a secured card for, say, $500, you don't ever want to owe more than $50. And your credit score is going to be based on when that card reports to the bureau, not if you went and charged $50 and then paid it down and now there's no balance, which is a whole nother thing. You don't want zero. You always want $10 on your card for it to register. So I tell people, use that secured card once a month, charge a tank of gas, pay it down to $10. Do that before it reports to the bureau. And that will help you with payment history. It'll also help you keep your utilization where it needs to be. If you run into a situation where you do need to buy groceries or something and you had that balance go up on you, just pay it down before it reports to the bureau. And every company has one day out of the month that they report. So you can ask them what that day is. It's probably going to be before the end of your billing cycle, so before your payment is due. That will definitely help you. That's usually the first thing I ask about is credit because it has such an impact on your score. The next thing would be working on anything that has been late on your report in the last 12 months. So each time you get paid, pick one collection on your report. Call them, settle it, ask them to delete it. If you pay something, it reverts to current, like it happened yesterday, which hurts you because it's within the last 12 months. But you're better off paying it in the long run because eventually it's going to be good for your report. But in the short run, if you're trying to buy a house right away, it can hurt you. Okay. So when you call your creditor, ask them if they will delete it. If they won't, call the next person on your report. get the ones off that are willing to give you that letter of deletion.
Okay.
And then after that, then you can start working on the ones that refuse to delete. You are better off in the long run paying it than not paying it, but in the short run, like I said, it can hurt you.
Okay.
So charge-offs have more weight on your score than anything else. So if you call that creditor and say, look, this is charged off, you're not getting a dime, you know, are you willing to negotiate with me and take something to remove this off my report? Chances are that would be yes. So get rid of the charge-offs, get rid of the collections. The whole point in increasing your credit score is having new good credit and then bad old credit coming off. So what you've done in the last 12 months has the most weight. So whether that be adding a card, doing the Experian Boost, just anything you can do to have everything positive going forward. And by all means set up, you know, auto drafts or what have you to make sure that you don't accidentally have something report late. That will kill you. It will literally kill your score.
Right,
So
right.
it's so important. I've had a lot of people that were very upset because, you know, something auto drafted and they weren't prepared for it, and for whatever reason they didn't have auto draft protection or what have you. And most of these companies are not willing to take it off, even if there was a mistake or an oversight. So
Right, okay. And you, and I'm not sure if we mentioned this previously, you know, but you do have ways and programs that you can help individuals if they do have some blips
yes.
on their credit, that you can help them get prepared.
Yes. So within the credit report, when I pull it, I have a feature called the Credit Analyzer, and they have something called a what if simulator. So I can go in and say, what happens if I add a credit card? What happens if I remove this debt? What happens if I pay this down? So we can kind of play with a bunch of different scenarios to see what's going to help you in your particular case. If it looks like there are issues with, like say there's something that's an error, you can either try and work on that yourself, or I work with several credit repair companies that would be willing to assist you. And both of the ones that I work with are reputable, so you don't have to worry about them just putting a bunch of disputes on your report and then having to deal with getting those off down the road. Disputes basically take that item from your report and erase it like it doesn't exist. So then an underwriter looks at your report and they say, okay, all these disputes are here, this is not a true score. Remove the disputes, go pull a new credit report, and then I'll know what your true score is. So disputes do not help you. They're a process, they're a tool that you use, because then the creditor has 30 days to respond as to whether or not they agree that you actually owe that debt or not. But if you really do owe that debt, they're going to come back and say, we investigated it and we're not removing it. Right. So it's only going to help you if it truly is something that's an error. Unless you have paperwork to back that up, chances are they're not taking it off your report. And then another thing that people do is, once something gets to that point where it might fall off your report, these companies got smart and they're selling it to somebody else, and it's that 7 years is starting all over again. So don't bank on the fact that something's going to fall off your report and go away. So you're better off calling the company and settling it and getting it removed, and it's going to help you in the long run.
Right. And that's another good point too, because, you know, a lot of individuals, you know, oh, in 7 years this is going to fall off. They don't realize that it could be sold, and it just starts all over again. So it's not, like you said, it's not, don't count on that. It's not a guarantee.
Right.
Because it could be there forever.
I mean, something that's really super old is having a lot less impact on your score. But it's still there. It's still a negative mark on your report, and it's still dropping your credit score.
Right. So better, like Brenda said, to try to take care of
negotiate,
because in the long run it's going to help. So all right, well, I thank you. Lots of great information. So
you might have to rewind this one and play it a couple times, because there's a lot of data packed in there.
And a lot of data, and a lot of data we can still do more on within this. So but we thank you for watching and joining us. don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you are notified, but you gotta ring the bell, and so that you can make sure you get notified, so when we put out another video, you are aware and you can get more valuable information. If there's anything that you would like us to talk about, or anything in the Charleston area that you would like to see that I could go do a video for you, I'll be happy to. Just let us know in the comments below. We'll be happy to do whatever, give you any information that is of value to you, right, Brenda?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Brenda, tell us again how anyone can get in touch with you if you want to talk to Brenda about, you know, your credit, take a look at it just to, you know, see what it is, what, you know, to get ready for in the future or now or whatever. How can they get in touch with you?
You can either email me at brenda.christ@movement.com. Christ is spelled CHRIST. Or you can call me at 843-330-8002. I look forward to helping you.
And she will help you too. All right, well, thank you for joining us. It's Cindy with lowcountrylifestylehomes.com. Check out the website. You can email me as well at cindy@lowcountrylifestylehomes.com. All right, we will see you next time. Have a great, blessed day. Bye.